Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's 10About Town podcast. I'm Brittany Bailey, and this week we have a lot of summer fun to talk about, whether it's free concerts or big parties. And speaking of parties, hey, we're going to talk about a kids' party, a party designed just for kids. Kendra Brewer with the City's Office of Special Events is here to talk more about that. It is Kid A Riffic, right?
Kid A Riffic Fun in the Park.
Yes.
And we are back again.
And so tell us about this. For people who don't know, this is sort of a rotating series.
So it is about 7 weeks. It's every Wednesday, June and July, with the exception of 4th of July week. And we take our activities, our Kid A Riffic activities, and we take them to a different location each week. So if you've never been to South Knoxville, we'll have a Kid A Riffic in South Knoxville. That could be your first attempt to go and visit us. We just try to go somewhere different every week so families in that area can discover a new location or they can come out close to home.
And I think, that is such a good thing because a lot of times you might only go to the park that's closest to you, if you even get out to our park, sadly. So this sort of introduces you to other parts of the city as well.
It absolutely does. And we are so excited because this year we have a few non-park locations, with one being Covenant Health Park. It is a park, but it's not your standard traditional park. But we're super excited to go visit Smoky Stadium and bring a baseball theme. And also super excited this year, we're going to be on Hill Avenue to celebrate the 250th America's birthday. So instead of being in a park, we will be on Hill in between James White's Fort and Blunt Mansion. So families can kind of get a little taste of the history of Knoxville and visit our historic homes as we're celebrating America's 250th as well.
So obviously we kind of talked about two of those events that'll have a little bit of a special theme, but in general, for people who don't know, what happens at a Kid A Riffic event?
So a Kid A Riffic is really designed for those between the ages of 2 to 12. It was first conceived back in 2019 when we were kind of walking around Market Square one day and we're like, there's a lot of moms with littles who didn't have an activity for them because they weren't old enough to go to camp with a sibling. So we thought, let's bring an activity to downtown for them. And it was great. Our first year we stayed on Market Square and then COVID hit. And in a way, for us, COVID was a blessing in that manner, that because it made us think outside the downtown box and where are we going to go that's going to provide more space for people to actually come and enjoy themselves. So that brought Kid A Riffic Fun in the Park to all these different locations throughout Knoxville. And since 2021, we've been going strong and we've hit new locations every year. And some we've gone back, like traditionally, our first one always starts at Chilhowie Park where we do our Touch-a-Truck, and our last one is our big party at the World's Fair Park.
Well, let's talk about, some of the other activities. You mentioned Touch-a-Truck, but what else can the kiddos do at these events?
We have a lot of partners such as the Knoxville Zoo, the Muse, our stormwater department comes out, our public service department, and it's nonprofit organizations or partners that we work with, that the city works with, that also come out and do an activity with your family. So you can learn more about the Knoxville Zoo and what they have going on, know about, the baby cubs, the cub that was just born, the lion cub. The Muse, the Muse is going to be expanding to a new location. What are some of their goals? What activities, if you haven't gone to the Muse before, you'll be able to experience the Muse while you're at the park. Imes Nature Center, we've been there several times in the past. And for those who hadn't been to Imes, you could go to their Navitat course. You can visit the sanctuary with the birds. You can visit the park. And basically, it's just come out and see what's new. And each location is kind of geared to a special activity. Another location that we'll be at this year we're super excited about is the new Urban Gateway Wilderness location. We did the Mayor State of the City there earlier this year. We opened it up when it was super cold. And so we're super excited to go back. We're not going to be frozen, but just the bike trails and the greenways and the paths, and we're encouraging people to bring your outside equipment, your bikes, to do the little bike paths that are along the way, just to experience everything that there is to experience in Knoxville for families with littles.
And so if families want to get involved in this, what do they need to do? First of all, let's talk about kind of the dates and times that these normally are, and if parents need to sign up ahead of time, what costs might be associated.
There's absolutely no cost whatsoever. Everything that the city does that is an activity is completely free to the public. Our goal is to make memories. We want our families to make memories, our community, our children, and that's our way of starting the memory making process. Is what did you do during the summer? You came and went to Kid A Riffic's. We have sponsors that give out free ice cream during the event. All the activities are free. The giveaways are free. We are giving away, every year we give away a bag. This year they were designed in-house and they are adorable, and I cannot wait for everybody to see them. It's just, you can go to our city's website and our Facebook page at City of Knoxville Special Events, and it will list exactly which park we're in each week. And the time is from 10 to 1. So kind of, you got the super littles, it'll be right after morning nap, before afternoon nap.
I was just thinking that.
But it's definitely geared to families to bring their children out and have a wonderful afternoon.
About how many people do you normally have show up?
It really depends. We average maybe about 400 families per location. Some we get more, some we get less, depending on weather, or is it a summer vacation week? But we always have plenty of activities. We have plenty of goodies, and we just want everybody to come on out. And one thing that's also great is a couple years ago, we met a family that was traveling from New Hampshire, and they were on their way to Florida, and they just needed to stop. And they're like, what can we do to get out, stretch our legs? And they actually discovered Kid A Riffic, and they were at IMES. So they discovered South Knoxville. They discovered one of our hidden gems that the city has to offer that you may not know about if you don't live here. And to me, that was a huge success, because we created a memory for that family, and we created a wonderful memory of Knoxville for them to be able to come out and experience that.
You got to show off Knoxville a little bit and say, look how cool we are.
Absolutely. And we love doing that.
So plenty of fun ahead with Kid A Riffic. Anything else we want to mention before we let you go? What other big things are on the horizon? I know something's always happening.
Well, not only Kid A Riffic, our concert series has started.
Yes.
So super excited. We'll have a jazz concert this evening, and then our third Thursday we had to cancel last week because of the weather. Why? The rain this one weekend. But it's Knoxville. Yeah. So our next third Thursday is going to be a Michael Jackson 5 tribute band, so we're super excited about that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and not to mention the festival on the 4th. So we're in the ending phases of planning for our big festival at World's Fair Park, fireworks, the symphony. Country music's going to be taking the stage at 5 o'clock on the festival lawn. The fountains will be going. We'll have a nod to the 250th. It's, Knoxville is where you want to be for the summer.
And I know we'll talk more about the festival on the 4th coming up, because I imagine there will be some changes from last year with the amphitheater construction. Correct. And we can talk more about all of that.
Yes, but even though the construction of the amphitheater is underway, it's not going to take away from the event whatsoever and what we have planned for that evening.
Well, of course, where can people find all of this information if they can't take it all in the podcast?
Obviously, go to the City of Knoxville's website. Everything is right there for you. Just go to the Search Anything tab and type it in, and it will bring up all your answers.
All right. Well, sounds great. Always good to see you, Kendra.
Thank you so much. So good to see you.
We will see you again soon. And, we talked about Kid A Riffic and kids, and that's not the only thing happening that's geared toward the younger set. There's another event coming up in World's Fair Park. It's a party for kids to help other kids. On May 30th, World's Fair Park's Performance Lawn will be the site of the Knoxville's largest kids party. Children of all ages can enjoy live performances, games, food vendors, face painting, and a petting zoo. Admission is $15 per person at the gate, with children 2 and younger getting in for free. Event proceeds will benefit Child Help, which works with child abuse and neglect cases. You can visit the website to learn more. This next event mixes great vibes with great music, and Monica Hancock, who's the executive director of the Epilepsy Foundation of East Tennessee, is joining us now to talk more about this. And I love the name of this event that we're going to be talking about, Smooth Sailor Bayou Bash.
Yes.
I mean, that's so fun. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but I think it makes sense to start off talking about your foundation for people who may not be familiar with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're the Epilepsy Foundation of East Tennessee, and our mission is, our vision is so no one faces epilepsy alone. I mean, some things that we do, we have several programs and services that we provide for people with epilepsy. We pay for doctor bills, diagnostic testing. We help with transportation to and from doctor visits because things can get a little bit pricey, you know.
Yeah, like everything these days, right?
For sure. We have support groups. We have an Art Through Healing program. And the number one preventable, cause of epilepsy is a little brain injuries. So we have a free bicycle helmet program that we have for ages 3 through 17. Our staff go out and we fit bicycle helmets on children's little heads.
Now, I didn't realize that. So that is the number one cause of epilepsy in children is a head injury, maybe from bikes?
It's preventable. Yeah,
a preventable
yes,
cause.
because I mean, some develop epilepsy from a brain injury. So we try to, protect those little heads by giving them bicycle helmets when they ride their skateboards, their bicycles, and all that kind of stuff.
How many people here in the East Tennessee area have epilepsy and maybe need your services?
Well, in Tennessee, there's 80,000 people approximately, and of those 80,000, there's 12,000 children that have epilepsy. 1 in 26 will develop epilepsy sometime in their life. And in East Tennessee, they're twice as likely to develop epilepsy in the whole country. We are not sure why. Yeah. Research is still going on, but yeah, I mean, that's a fact, is that in East Tennessee, it's twice as likely for somebody to develop epilepsy.
Well, it's a good thing that your foundation exists in here, right?
Yes.
Well, for people who maybe aren't familiar with it, talk about, the impact it can have on someone.
Well, having epilepsy, of course, I mean, people end up losing their jobs. Once you have a seizure, once you're diagnosed with epilepsy, you can't drive for 6 to 8 months until you're seizure free. So, not only does it affect their mode of transportation, they can lose their job. We've got clients that's happened to. So, that's why we're here. We're wanting people to, that have epilepsy to have a fair life, fair way of living.
And it sounds like you're here to offer so many services to so many people. How do you get your funding in order to do all of this? Yeah,
we get grants. The United Way, they're big funders of ours. We love them to death, and we appreciate all their support. We do get a small state fund in appropriation, and we also do events. We just had our Strikeout Epilepsy event on Sunday with the Tennessee Smokies, and we have our walk coming up November 8th, as well as this event on June 6th.
Yes, which is what we want to talk about. So this is called, again, Smooth Sailor Bayou Bash.
Yes.
Tell us about the name and why it's called that.
Oh, well, everybody in East Tennessee knows, Yacht Rock Smooth Sailor.
Yes.
You gotta know Smooth Sailor. It all started with they have concerts out at the Hardin Valley Event Center. And Mr. Dale, the owner of the Hardin Valley Event Center, he approached me because his wife has epilepsy. And they wanted to do something for us, of course, to bring awareness. And so it just a conversation with him, led into this. They have kayak in the creek, amazing little creek there, so much fun. And then the shrimp dock is coming in with their low country boil. Which leads into the Smooth Sailor concert that evening.
And so it's sort of food and music and all of that. So it's just a big fun party,
It
basically.
It's going to go on from 12 o'clock on into 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, that's a huge day-long event then.
It is.
And so are you planning to have people there the whole time, or do they stop in for different activities and pop out? Or tell us how the rundown's going to go that day.
We hope that they come and stay all day, but, life's.
Right.
So if you want to kayak, come kayak from 12 to 3. If you just want to come for dinner, come and pick up some low country boil. If you have something to do that afternoon and want to do something that evening, come to the Smooth Sailor. But we would love to have you all day.
And for folks who want to get involved, you have tickets available. How do they do that? What's the cost? Where can they get them?
Yeah. To purchase tickets, it's www.ticketsource.com/HVEC. That's Hardin Valley Event Center. There's a link there, and the tickets are separate because of, you can come and go as you please. The kayaking, for single kayak, it's $37. For the Low Country Bowl, to get a plate, it's $20, and to see Smooth Sailor, it's $25.
That's the big cap off
Yes,
of the night.
yes.
For folks who aren't familiar, I mean, how would you describe Smooth Sailor?
Oh my gracious. Dress in your tropical attire, the florals. They give out leis during their concerts. So if you've never seen them, it's definitely worth the trip out there. You won't regret it. And I mean, I know that there's people that have seen them a million times like myself.
Yeah.
So come and support a great cause.
And speaking of that, we kind of talked about your foundation leading up to talking about this event, but this event is important because it brings in those desperately needed donations
Right.
to continue doing the work that you need to do.
For sure.
And so for folks who, kind of want to know directly, again, some of these programs, can we go through some of the programs that you offer again?
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, we do some of the services that we provide. We pay for medical testing, diagnostic testing. Sometimes we pay for emergency bills. If you have medical equipment that is reliant upon your epilepsy, we pay that. We also pay for transportation to and from doctor visits. And one thing that I didn't mention that we also have, we have a camp scholarships, which the Akima Foundation is very supportive of that program. It's where we send, some of our younger clients to camp as well as some of their families, and it's all paid for. And we have volunteer opportunities. I mean, that's one thing that, we could, use more help on is, volunteers to come in and help us, not only in the office, but as well as with our events.
And just last thing here, if people want to find out more information and maybe are looking to get some help through you, where can they go to find that info?
They can call us, 865-522-4991. They can go to our website, www.efeastn.org. We have a Facebook page, Epilepsy Foundation of East Tennessee, or they can drop by 1750 East Magnolia Avenue.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by. This event sounds so fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I hope people spend the whole day there and have a
too.
blast.
I do too. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's now talk about another event that combines both walking and biking with your family. And if you want to get off those busy streets of Knoxville, but still feel like you're in Knoxville, well, I think we have the perfect solution. It's the mini city inside a big town. Knoxville's Safety City is a favorite for many children. It's where they learn all important rules of the road for biking and walking. And on May 29th, Safety City opens to the public for families to walk or bike. You can visit from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And also there are some select Saturday and Wednesday evenings when you can visit. There are some rules, including everyone must have a helmet to ride a bike. All riders must stay on the street. You got to leave those sidewalks clear for pedestrians. Children must be accompanied by an adult at all times. There are no motorized scooters or bikes allowed. Neither are roller skates, blades, hoverboards, one wheels, or skateboards, and no pets allowed. You can visit the Safety City Facebook page for more information. WDVX is getting ready to host a number of fun, free events, not only a summer nights concert series, but the big thing we want to talk about today is the Blue Plate Special coming back to its home. And Benny Smith is joining us now to talk more about this. Thank you so much for being here.
Always happy to be here at WBIR and let folks know what's going on at WDVX.
Yes, so much always going on, but you're going to be back to where you belong. So let's talk about that.
That's right. We have been out of the Visitors Knoxville Center since the end of November for our Blue Plate Special, which is the home of the Blue Plate. Of course, we do the Big Plate on Fridays at Barley's. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturdays, and then on First Fridays, we're in Visit Knoxville Center. They underwent renovation for several months from November through May. Or most of May, and they just reopened, I think, the 13th or so. And it's taken us a little bit of time to kind of tweak the audio production end of it. You guys understand that, just to make sure that we're going to be ready. And we are. We're ready. Tomorrow's the big day, and we could not be more proud than to have East Tennessee's own Wyatt Ellis and his band. I don't know that it gets any hotter right now in bluegrass, especially young up-and-coming bluegrass. And we really wanted to start off with an East Tennessee flair, an East Tennessee touch. We are, East Tennessee's own. And so we wanted to make sure that we get one of our own to get this thing cranked back up again and visit Knoxville Center. And we're very excited about that happening tomorrow.
So big things happening. Before we sort of move on, how did you guys get through a reminder for when you kind of, went around a couple of places to try to keep things going as best as possible during this renovation?
Yeah, there was a lot going on, a lot behind the scenes, obviously. We had to move to a temporary space for a while some things got fixed in our office space in the basement. But the main deal was obviously, not being able to do a Blue Plate special on the Blue Plate special stage. And it also got in the way of us doing live interviews and some live shifts because you hear pounding and grinding and everything going on, and that's not good radio. But we were able to persevere and make it work through the magic of software automation and not miss a beat per se. We had a fundraiser or two in there as well and had some hoops to kind of jump through for that as well. So, life has been somewhat challenging there, but for them too. They've had their whole first floor closed for Visit Knoxville folks. That is where our studio is on that first floor where that total renovation went on. So, a lot of rolling with the punches, as they say, but we are here and Visit Knoxville is back and open, and we are ready to get the Blue Plate special started again. It is a treasure of not just Knoxville, of East Tennessee. We have people from all over the world who come in for the Blue Plate special, so we are glad it's going to be back home.
And we always like mentioning a few of the big names who sort of made their mark on Blue Plate to begin with.
Oh, there's tons of them. Of course, Still Drivers when Chris Stapleton was in the band, Tyler Childers played there. Sturgill Simpson played. Ricky Skaggs has played it. Marty Stewart. The Punch Brothers, who are going to be in town this week, have played it. And so, Margot Price, who's coming to town. So we always like to get them when, nobody, I don't want to say nobody knew them, but, when people can go back and say, I saw them on the Blue Plate when nobody knew them. And so, but that's pretty much what the Blue Plate special is about. And we really encourage putting talent from East Tennessee on that stage, and especially young up-and-coming talent who may never have had that opportunity to get on a stage like that, perform in front of an audience like that. And then a lot of folks don't know this, but those artists also get the video and the audio for their electronic press kit. So we've actually had bands tell us that they have used that audio to apply to play festivals and things, and it is that Blue Plate special performance that got them the gig or gets them the gigs. And so there's a lot of other things attached to Blue Plate special that we purposely make sure that happens, and that's kind of the service end of radio, but we sure have a fun time doing it, and it's a free concert basically every day, so how can that not be cool?
Well, speaking of fun concerts, we also have a series coming up at Yeehaw. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to put my glasses on, but I'm so excited. And it's a 10-show series, actually. It's summer nights and summer sessions, and we could not do it without ORNL Federal Credit Union and the good folks at Garza Law and our friends at Yeehaw Brewing here in Knoxville, of course. 10 free shows. We've got 3 of them done already. We started with Trey Hensley, which was just absolutely amazing. Then we went, and that was at Yeehaw. We went to Eric out to Oak Ridge to Bissell Park and did Eric Baker and his band. And then we just had Webb Wilder come in and do Yeehaw, and we've had huge crowds already. I mean, 300, 400, 500 folks showing up. We've got 7 more shows, so if you missed any of those 3, do not worry. We've got 6 more at Yeehaw coming up Saturday, June 6th. It's Amethyst Kia and her band, who is just amazing. She's East Tennessee's own. She's from Johnson City. And Knoxville band Cheap Souvenirs opening, and Wednesday, June 17th, Red and the Paper Flowers. Everybody loves them. Why not? I mean, how can you not? And then a young man by the name of Ettore Buzzini. The old folks call him Eddie Ray, but his name is really Ettore, Ettore. He's amazing. He has roots here in East Tennessee, too. Bluegrass banjo player. And then we've got plenty of other shows coming. Bronwyn Keith Hines, Blue Mother Tupelo's coming in, the Jason Carter Band, Janine Fuller, Sean Kemp, and Verlin Thompson will do that in Norris at the Museum of Appalachia in September. And then we ended up with Chuck Mead and his Grassy Knoll Boys, who was in BR 549 and Knoxville's own Royal Hounds, who've been in Nashville for a few years. So it's a fun series. It is free. It starts the summer sessions, which ORNL Federal Credit Union presents, start at 6 o'clock for the live music. The other ones at Yeehaw start at 7, but it's free. It is all ages, and kids are more than welcome because we always have kids running around and dancing in the front, and it's just a great atmosphere, and it's a great way to bring people and community together. You know us. We love community. You guys love bringing community together here at WBIR as well. That's what this is all about.
It's so fun. I've been to one of the ones at Yeehaw. You got to go check one out. But I think it's good that you mentioned that they're not all at Yeehaw. They have a couple of different locations, so
Correct.
you need to check that calendar.
Correct. Yeah, we just had one at Bizzle Park in Oak Ridge. We will have one in September in Norris at the Museum of Appalachia, which we love. But the rest are at Yeehaw. So we've got new stickers to give out, and we've got these
And we got to see the hat.
I mean, come on. Who doesn't want that? And, proceeds from the purchase of this cap help keep us on the air. And that's very important as well now more than ever with the loss of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It's merchandise like this that helps keep us on the air, and great, great listeners and supporters that we have.
Well, that was going to lead me to my next question. I wanted to kind of get an update on how you all are doing. We've sort of
Sure.
checked in since this loss of funding has happened, and it's been quite a struggle. Where do things stand now?
The biggest struggle is the fact that we have to now compete against other nonprofits. I mean, who wants to go up against Meals on Wheels or something like that, And we are a radio station. We like to help those. We like to run public service announcements for those other nonprofits. So that's something that's become even more important. It is a struggle. Again, we have great listeners, great supporters, great business underwriters and sponsors who help keep us on the air, but we have yet to reach our $85,000 goal for our spring fundraiser. We have until the end of June, so we're about $15,000 short. We're seeing the same amounts of pledges. It's just they're less this time around, and we absolutely get it.
Yeah.
With the economy and, again, with other nonprofits needing help too, we understand that. But we want to make sure that we work just as hard and that we put great events on like summer nights and summer sessions to give that return on your investment of that donation with WDVX. So, yeah, we lost 20% of our budget for this year, 20% for next year. That was already granted. So it's tough to scramble to make that up, but again, it's tougher to having to compete against other nonprofits that we want to help and not compete against. But we're going to keep the music going, and we're going to, like I said, remain East Tennessee's own and do it with the glass half full, not glass half empty.
I imagine if folks are coming out to see the wonderful free things that you do, whether it's popping in a Blue Plate special or one of the summer concert series events, that they could maybe make a donation while they're there and help you.
We've got these cool little things called QR codes that are all around and on the big screen at Yeehaw that you can make that donation. You can buy a T-shirt, you can buy a cap, you can just make that donation, or you can go online to WDVX.com to the support page. Plenty of ways to donate there. And we even have Venmo now. We are catching up with everybody else, so we've got Venmo now too. But you're exactly right. That is a place for us to, I don't want to say beg, but to come to folks and go, hey, there's a reminder that you guys are the ones making this happen. We're just behind the scenes putting it together, but your donations, your money, your support, your sponsorship money, that's what makes it happen, and that's what brings this community together. We're just there to help grease the wheel, and it's been more challenging in the last, 6 to 8 months than it's been in the last 6 to 10 years, actually.
Wow. Well, I mean, as you sort of pointed out, it's a good reminder, too, that when folks are out there enjoying one of these things, it only happens because you're right now able to continue making these things happen, but you need these donations to continue doing this.
Vital.
So.
That is our lifeline. And the last thing we want to do is not pay musicians, pay your production people. I mean, it is a domino effect when you don't get that money to put these events on. It's not just us, and it's not just our listeners not getting those events. It's bands and musicians not getting paid. It's your production people, the Yeehaw, not selling their food and their beverages, and so it's a ripple effect that we don't want to see happen. And that's why we come to our listeners and we ask for those donations. And you're right, you can come to any of these shows for free, not have to pay a cover charge. I would tell you we'd give you your money back if you don't like the show, but obviously there's no money there at the gate, but you can donate at these events, and we would be very appreciative of that.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by and giving us an
Always,
update
thank you,
on what
guys.
you need, but also all the fun stuff, too.
It's all about fun, and we love having fun at WDVX, and we want people to come have fun with us.
Well, thank you again, and thank you for being with us for this podcast today. And hey, stick around because next week we have a lot of fun things to talk about, too. We're going to be talking about someone who has a one-woman show dedicated to the legendary Pat Summit. And then we're going to be talking about some tall tales being told in Oak Ridge. We'll preview that event as well. In the meantime, a reminder that you can always catch up on the latest 10 About Town every day, every weekday at 4 right here on WBIR. And we'll have more streaming here on our WBIR streaming app up next.